HIMS and HERS just delivered one of the ugliest sell-offs we've seen this year, with the stock collapsing over 26% in a single session, and after a move this violent, the headlines don't matter nearly as much as the chart does. So in this video, we're doing a full technical analysis of HIMS and HERS to determine how this stock is likely to trade next. We'll break down the key support and resistance levels, volume behavior, trend structure, and momentum to identify where the buyers might step in or where further downside could accelerate. So without further ado, let's get into the charts. Now before we dive in, I just want to remind you guys of our 7-day free trial Patreon membership, and for only $15 a month with Market Mover, you get access to our Ticker Flow AI app, which uses our AI-built application, which you can upload your charts and it can determine whether the stock is bullish, bearish, or neutral, and help you outperform the market. So first of all, we'll be looking at the weekly chart, and we'll slowly start to go back towards the short-term time frames to get a full picture on HIMS and HERS stock. So if we look here at the weekly, we can see that the stock has been heavily hammered toward the downside. Ever since the high that was formed here on October 13th of 2025, we are down a little bit more than 74% and pretty close to 100%, which is pretty extensive here towards the downside. Now, this anchored VWAP line here you see on my chart, exactly here, is very important to assess the extreme sell-off we've been seeing and the future price action of the stock. So this anchored VWAP is from the IPO, the initial public offering, which was in 2019. Now, with the price being well below it, pretty much around 50%, this shows that the average person that bought shares in the stock is losing money ever since that date here on the IPO. And this is very important because I believe that overall HIMS and HERS will continue to see continued sell-off towards the levels here of $13.50 and next areas of support of around $11.30. Now, we may see continued sell-off towards areas of support here like $8 and $5.67. Now, the main reasoning as to why the stock has been selling off is because there has been some investigations here from the DOJ, as well from a lawsuit here from another company, which has triggered a massive sell-off of 26% here on the day. If you look at the average volume over the past couple of 30 days, it has been around 20 million shares, and as of today, we're doing 51 million, so a little bit more than double the shares. Now, as well, if we look at the earnings, they have been declining, so it doesn't really help the stock here. Additionally, from that, with the stock obviously being down around 49% year to date, keep in mind that we're only 2 months in 2026, and we're already seeing this heavy downside. A lot of analyst ratings are still being neutral, but the majority have a 1-year price target of around $39 here, and the stock, I believe will continue to see extensive sell-offs here. Now, if we do see a bounce at any of the levels that I previously stated, so we'll say the short-term bounces here, so let's say we find support at $14, then the price action would look something like this, right? So we would see that heavy downside, probably some liquidations, and then see that formation, higher low, higher highs, an issue like that, and that would be overall there until we slowly start to see that this anchored VWAP from this overall high, right, from where the sellers really got aggressive. Here we look at the overall candle here. It would be something like this. So we would see some type of anchored VWAP slowly catching up to the price like this. And this is where I believe that, you could short the stock again. So we would see something like this, maybe a fake breakout, trick people that it's going to be a long, and then boom, continues to sell off, over time towards the next area of support of around $11. Now, between this overall time frame here, from the bounce of around $12 towards that resistance, it would be a very nice trade of around 85%, right? So once this does happen, you can go long, hold the position, and then once you encounter the area of supply, because we know that the overall downtrend is a major established, then we can short, exit our positions, initiate a heavy short position at this exact level right here, exactly right there, at the onset again of the price action, and have a clear defined stop, at here, this level, at the most recent lower high formation. This would allow you to keep holding the stock again towards its downside potential of around $11 per share. Now let's transition toward the daily chart here. So looking at the stock here on the daily, we do see here very extensive selling, right? And the most recent sell-off has been very, very aggressive. We do see the increase in volume, so that's why I do believe that we're going to be continued to see that extensive sell-off here on overall HIMS and HERS. If we apply, let's say, an RSI indicator, here we can see that it has been pretty much oversold. So this may, trigger a short-term bounce here, like I said, on my overall case scenario, because the RSI is low, which, could be a overall, long towards maybe some short-term levels around here of $22, which would be around a 31% return here. But I do believe that, HIMS and HERS will decline even further. If you look here at the actual 5-minute chart shorter-term time frame, we do see that obviously we are in the short-term trend towards the downside. Now, if we get the average, point of control level here from the initiation of the pre-market towards this level here before the pre-market, data ended, we do see that the point of control has been $18. So here, as long as the overall sellers remain, below $18, and they will have full control of the stock. And, we can see continued sell-offs here on the 5-minute intraday towards, even levels here, psychological zones around 1550, or even around the flat level of $15 here on HIMS and HERS. Now, from here, the trade is all about confirmation, not prediction. If support does hold and volume steps in, there may be a higher probability bounce setup. If those levels fail, the path of least resistance remains lower and patience becomes a trade. This is not a stock to blindly catch or chase. It's one to respect, plan, and execute with discipline. Let the levels guide you, and let the price action confirm your bias.